Life doesn't change overnight, it changes daily in the small things we repeat. The truth is, the habits we master are the habits that shape us. And for every woman who wants to step into her power and build unshakable confidence and create balance in her life, mastering the right daily habits isn't optional, it's essential. Today, I want to share 10 daily habits every woman must master, not as a checklist, but as a roadmap to becoming the strongest, calmest, and most authentic version of yourself. The way you start your morning is the way you set the tone for everything that follows. Think about it, your first moments are like the opening scene of a movie. If the scene is rushed, chaotic, and stressful, the rest of the story tends to carry that energy. But if it begins with calm, with focus, and with intention, you've already shifted the direction of your entire day before anyone else even enters it. Too many times, mornings are surrendered to the demands of other people, the notifications on your phone, the endless to-do list, the pressure to respond before you've even had a chance to breathe. And when that happens, your day doesn't feel like yours anymore. You're reacting instead of leading. A powerful morning routine doesn't need to be complicated, it needs to be consistent. It could be as simple as drinking water before coffee, moving your body for 10 minutes, or writing down 3 priorities you want to focus on. It's less about how long it takes and more about claiming that small piece of time that belongs only to you. Those first few minutes are your reset button, your reminder that you don't have to step into the day already behind, already overwhelmed, already pulled in 10 different directions. They're your chance to build a mindset that says, I'm prepared. I'm steady. I'm choosing how this day begins. Your body is the first home you ever had, and it's the only one you'll carry for the rest of your life. Yet, it's also the one thing people tend to neglect the most when life gets busy. The truth is, everything you want to accomplish, every role you play, every goal you chase, it all depends on how well you take care of the body that carries you through it. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It starts with hydration, something so small, but it changes everything. Drinking enough water affects your energy, your focus, even your mood, but most people move through the day dehydrated without even realizing it. Then there's movement. Not punishment, not hours in the gym, not chasing an unrealistic version of fitness. Just stretching, walking, dancing in your kitchen, anything that keeps your body from being stuck in one place too long. Because when you move, you remind yourself that your body was built to be alive, not just to sit still and survive. And then there's sleep, the most underrated form of self-care. People treat exhaustion like it's proof of hard work, when in reality it's just proof that you're running on empty. Rest is not weakness. Rest is strategy. Without it, the sharpness of your mind dulls, your patience runs thin, and the smallest challenges feel overwhelming. Taking care of your health doesn't mean perfection. It means choosing respect for the body that shows up for you every single day, even when you've ignored it, even when you've pushed it past its limits. Most people move through life on autopilot, repeating the same actions, the same mistakes, the same conversations, without ever stopping to ask why. Self-reflection is what breaks that cycle. It's not about sitting in judgment of yourself. It's about stepping back long enough to notice how you're showing up. A few quiet minutes at the end of the day can change the way you see yourself. Ask simple questions. What went well today? Where did I fall short? What did I learn about myself? These aren't questions designed to shame you. They're meant to guide you. Because the truth is, growth doesn't usually come from big, dramatic life changes. It comes from noticing the small patterns that either push you forward or quietly hold you back. When you reflect, you catch those patterns before they become permanent. You start to notice that maybe you're always drained after certain conversations, or that you're calmer when you journal in the morning, or that your stress spikes every time you overcommit. Reflection gives you the awareness to make different choices tomorrow instead of being stuck in yesterday's habits. And here's the thing, nobody can do that work for you. Only you know the stories you tell yourself, the excuses you've leaned on, the strengths you overlook. Self-reflection is not weakness, it's ownership. It's how you stop letting life just happen to you and start choosing how you respond to it. Boundaries aren't walls, and they're not about shutting people out. They're about protecting the space you need to stay grounded, healthy, and at peace. Too often, women are taught that saying yes makes them kind, agreeable, or dependable. But over time, those yeses stack up until they start costing too much. Your time, your energy, your mental clarity, none of those are infinite. And if you don't decide where the line is, someone else will decide it for you. Boundaries show up in small ways, like not answering work messages after hours or saying no to a commitment that you know will drain you instead of serve you. They also show up in bigger ways, ending relationships that take more than they give, limiting access to people who cross the same line again and again, or simply refusing to explain yourself every time you make a choice that protects your well-being. And the truth is, setting boundaries won't always feel comfortable. Some people won't like it. They've gotten used to you always giving, always accommodating, always showing up at your own expense. But boundaries aren't for them, they're for you. They're how you create space to rest, to grow, to show up fully for the things that actually matter. because without them, your days get filled with everyone else's priorities and you're left wondering why there's no room for your own. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're self-respect in action. Growth doesn't stop the day you leave school, and it doesn't wait until life slows down enough for you to focus on it. The truth is, if you're not intentionally feeding your mind, life will do it for you, and usually it feeds you with noise, distractions, and routines that keep you stuck. Continuous learning isn't about formal education or collecting degrees, it's about staying curious. It's reading a few pages of a book that challenges the way you think, listening to a podcast that exposes you to a new perspective, asking better questions in your conversations instead of recycling the same small talk. It's about choosing to expand instead of staying in the same mental loop year after year. Because comfort feels good in the moment, but it rarely builds confidence. Confidence comes from stretching yourself, from realizing you're capable of understanding something you didn't know yesterday, from seeing yourself adapt to new ideas instead of resisting them. And it doesn't have to be grand or time-consuming. 5 minutes a day of intentional learning compounds into hours over a month, and those hours compound into transformation over a year. The best part is, nobody can take that growth away from you. People can strip away titles, jobs, even relationships, but the knowledge you've gained, the wisdom you've built, that's yours. Continuous learning keeps you sharp, adaptable, and humble enough to realize that no matter how much you know, there's always more to discover. Time is the one resource you can never get back, yet it's the one most people spend without noticing. The truth is, it's not usually the big things that steal your time, it's the small ones. The endless scrolling, the tasks you say yes to out of guilt, the hours spent fixing problems that could have been prevented with just a little planning. Time management isn't about packing every hour with productivity, it's about creating clarity. When you sit down and decide what matters most for the day, you stop chasing everything and start moving with direction. Even something as simple as writing down 3 priorities changes the way you approach your day, because now you know where your energy is supposed to go. Without that, it's easy to confuse being busy with being effective, and the two aren't the same. Being busy fills your time, being effective moves your life. And here's the thing, when you don't manage your time, someone else will. Other people's demands, last-minute requests, constant distractions, they'll fill your calendar and your head until you have no room left for what actually matters to you. That's why boundaries and time management go hand in hand. Protecting your hours isn't selfish, it's how you make sure your days are being spent on the things you've chosen, not just the things that showed up. Because time, once it's gone, doesn't ask for permission to leave. Money is one of those topics people avoid until it becomes a problem. But ignoring it doesn't make it go away, it just makes the weight of it heavier. Financial discipline isn't about being rich, it's about being in control. It's knowing where your money is going instead of wondering why it's always gone. It's pausing before every purchase and asking yourself, does this move me closer to freedom, or does it keep me stuck? Because freedom isn't just about having choices. It's about not being owned by debt, by impulse, by habits that drain you instead of support you. And the discipline isn't in grand gestures, it's in the small, consistent decisions, tracking what you spend, setting aside savings before you spend on wants, paying off debts one step at a time, investing in things that build instead of things that fade. Every dollar you handle with intention is a vote for the future you want to live. And financial awareness doesn't mean deprivation. It doesn't mean never treating yourself or living in scarcity. It means balance. It means you're spending with purpose, not out of emotion or pressure. Because money will either work for you or against you. And the way you manage it decides which side it lands on. Gratitude is one of those habits that feels simple, but it quietly shifts everything. The way your mind works, it's always scanning for what's missing, what's wrong, what still needs fixing. That's survival mode, and it served a purpose at one time, but when you live there too long, it drains you. Gratitude flips that lens. It doesn't erase problems, it reminds you they're not the whole picture. When you stop, even for 30 seconds, to notice what's good, you train your brain to see more of it. A hot cup of coffee in the morning, a text from a friend who checks in, the fact that you made it through a hard day yesterday and you're still here today. Gratitude grounds you in the present moment instead of chasing happiness somewhere in the future. And with it comes mindset. Because mindset isn't just positive thinking, it's choosing how you interpret what happens to you. 2 people can face the same challenge, but the one who sees it as a lesson instead of a punishment walks away stronger. That perspective doesn't happen by accident, it's practiced. And the more you practice gratitude, the more resilient your mindset becomes. Life doesn't suddenly get easier, but your ability to handle it expands. The truth is, these habits aren't about doing more, they're about living better. They're not boxes to check. They're foundations to build on, every single one of them. How you start your mornings, how you care for your body, how you reflect, how you set boundaries, how you keep learning, how you manage your time, how you handle your money, how you choose gratitude. They add up. Slowly, quietly, they shape the kind of woman you become. Not by chance, but by choice. And the beauty of habits is this. You don't have to master them all at once. You start small, you stay consistent, and over time, the woman you're working to become will show up. Because you've been building her every single day,